was definitely a second-tier Australian team in the sense of 10 changes, everything we know. I think Canada still executed very well. I wouldn't call it flawless. I think that's a bit extreme. But I think when you look at a 5-goal margin, all phases of the game, tight distances, many players getting minutes, Abdu specifically, we'll talk about that in a bit, but I think they should be so happy tonight.
We were discussing that, Jordan, because we said the Canadians did what they needed to do against an Australian B team. So they got the job done. Obviously, you kind of wish maybe it was a little bit more challenging too, but I guess that's the storyline. They got the job done in the manner they did against the type of Australian side they faced.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think also, too, Carm alluded to it a little bit, but the principles that were in place tonight for the Canadians, when they hunted, look at the goal that they scored, right? Passes, yeah, maybe the Australians didn't make the right decision, but they were there to pounce and to punish. And then, for me, calm, cool, and collected in front of goal, just slotting it in, not really shooting hard, really just collected. We like that. I think also, when you're looking at the back three as well, not dribbling out of the back, 2 touches, playing, skipping a man sometimes, right? It was organized. You could see that is that type of mentality that you could bring into better competition and better games, and hopefully they can do that. But it was a good start. It almost felt like a training match at times. You're playing a tier 2 team for Australia, but you still have to have the right principles, Carm.
Well, and how, you know what, sometimes you can look at the benefit, though, of playing a team like this, because you are able to work on all those little things that you work in practice. And what does it do for the confidence?
Yeah, it does everything, you know, for the confidence, because success tonight would have been to put in a top performance in the way that you design a game plan, right? And like you said, reduction in unforced errors, definitely a way more dominant defending organization and 100% more clinical attacking transition. So all in all, when you look at a complete performance, let me add on the set pieces. The delivery from Leon tonight, those deliveries were top class. I mean, Gilles should have had 2, Buchanan arguably another one. So improvement overall, and all you want from a window is to feel like you're moving forward, and tonight they did.
Let's take a look at those second half goals. Canada was heading into the half for the first 45. They were up 2 goals, and then they started to strike early on as well. 49th minute, 55th minute, 62nd minute. You know, when you take a look at this, just what kind of stands out. I mean, you said it, Jordan, at halftime with the first 2 goals. Nichelle Prince, we'll get to her in just a moment. You said the Canadians were hunting. They never really sat back, and it just feels they continued that in the second half.
Yeah, there's belief, right? You can even see it on the 4th goal with Sinclair, the prep touch with her right, and then just finding that corner with her left foot, but being in the right spot at the right time, but committing yourself forward. Carm, you know this better than anyone, just being a defender as well, and as a coach, you got to show up. You can't just, I should be there. You have to anticipate. You see with the Wujo doing that. You see even here with Leon getting into that spot, right? Look how many Australian players are around her, but she's the one to, let me squeak into this area, and then it comes back across, and she's able to get that header. So that's what Canadians can be proud of tonight, is that they were there and they were up for it, and they were able to score those goals.
Could Adriana see the goal that she scored? I mean, when you got the close-up of her face, the rain was just dripping down. She looked like she just came out of a swimming pool. But it did seem like they were in the right place at the right time as well, reading the plays.
They were reading the play. I mean, what I really wanted to highlight about that other goal, you said it perfectly, Collins, that second phase, the ability to hit it right back across where she had just been defending in her own half, essentially, around the halfway line. So Collins' ability to hit it back across, Adriana at the right place at the right time. I mean, what's not to like about tonight?
And let's look at the first half, because there's another reason to love Nichelle Prince getting the brace. She opens up the scoring in the 10th minute. But Nichelle Prince was even dubbed by Bev Priestman at the CONCACAF Championship, which was back in 2022. She was a starter. She was. You just didn't even think twice about her being in the top 3, or not top 3, but in the 3 in the field. And then she goes and has the Achilles injury, and it's pretty devastating, and it takes a while to recover from that. Does she look like she's exactly where she was before in that CONCACAF Championship tournament, which was the qualifier for the World Cup and Olympics?
Yeah, she's heading towards peak Prince. I think she's got still a lot of time to do that, knowing that there's about 13 games, more or less, in 2024. But it's so good to see this, pressing dominance. She really is a nightmare to play up against because she's unpredictable. Her change of pace is crazy that way. And now she's finding these clinical finishes. But we've seen Nichelle, contribute to these campaigns since, I'm even thinking 2019. Bit of a disruption. But fantastic to see her now across all moments. And this one was especially impressive. I love the idea that she held her run. First time finish, redirected a well-weighted ball from Ashley Lawrence there, which we've seen her do that, but that was unpredictable. Nobody thought she was going to get that off in her first touch, especially with the non-dominant foot. So yes, excited to see Nichelle. She was not ready for the World Cup.
Yeah.
I think that was devastating. So to see her sort of on the upward trajectory, very positive for Canada.
I mean, Achilles injury, it is
Brutal.
not easy.
Worst one.
It can actually end careers,
Absolutely.
which is another reason why I think it's so exciting to see her in that type of form.
She's back. She's back. I mean, the goal against Jamaica a few months ago, you see it tonight as well. That pace, that's one thing you can't defend in football.
No.
You talk about tactics, you can say, oh, keep a player, don't let them turn. But pace, that Nichelle Prince, when she could just run 10 yards, and now when you see those finishes tonight where she slots both of them home, one with the right foot, one with the left foot, only thing she was missing was one with the head for a hat trick, and that's a complete performance. But if she can play with that confidence, that's an ace card for the Canadians.
And I think when you look across the front three, one of the major storylines from the World Cup was what's the best combination of players? And when you don't have Nichelle Prince up top, Deanne Rose, for example, some players best known for their ability, yes, to play off the front and link, but also a genuine in-behind threat. Canada doesn't always have that if Haidema's up there, for example, if Leon is up there. So it changes what they're able to do and where the threats are. So happy to see it.
And nothing's easier for, nothing's easier for defenders. She's about to kill me. Nothing's easier for
We're going long
defenders
here.
when everyone goes to the ball. Defenders are like, oh, this is an easy day. We have a Nichelle Prince or Deanne Rose that can run in behind. Nightmare.
You heard me suck in the air, and then you went, oh, no,
I said,
oh,
well,
no.
I started to go like this.
I was just going to add, just put in Janine Becky returning from injury as well.
come
And
on.
imagine
Come on
those
now.
two now,
Come on now.
on the flanks. Let's hear from the woman we have just been praising, Nichelle Prince.
Nichelle, that seemed like a pretty good way to start this window off.
Yeah, definitely. It was nice to get a couple goals and for the team to just get a lot of goals. And so, yeah, it was a really fun start to the window.
How are you finding playing at the number 9 position? It seems like a role that's really suiting you in this new system.
Yeah, I love it personally. I mean, you obviously get a lot of chances in front of goal, and you get to create a lot. And so, yeah, I love it. So it's good to be back there because I used to play when I was a lot younger. But yeah, it's been fun.
Did we see a team today that's determined to make sure you send off Christine in the right way over these 2 games?
Yeah, exactly. We definitely want to send off Christine and Sophie in a great way, and they've done so much for this team. And so we're just trying to make sure it's a fun window and that we get to celebrate them.
How are you finding playing in this new system? Obviously, we talked about playing in the number 9 position, but the players you've got around you as well, it seems like it's really clicking right now.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting just because we have so many players up top and in front of goal, and so we're able to create and combine and get a lot of numbers and dangerous players in front of goal. So it's been really fun, and we're still learning and trying to perfect the system, but it's been really good so far.
What are kind of the feelings and emotions now ahead of Tuesday's game? It should be a special night at BC Place.
Yeah, obviously we want to celebrate this win, but we have to stay focused and make sure that we come out strong on Tuesday because Australia is going to come back hard, and we definitely want to end this window and celebrating Sink and Soph. So we have to stay focused and make sure it's a good night.
Thanks very much. Well done tonight.
And for that one night, by the way, it will be known as Christine Sinclair Place. And that's the thing. I mean, Nichelle Prince, we have to mention it. I mean, playing as that number 9, she's not going to want to give that up. She's going to want to prove and continue to prove to Bev Priestman that that is where she belongs. Let's get to the All-State save of the match now. Wouldn't exactly say it's the most spectacular of saves. But you know what? Listen, I mean, it kind of is what it is, right? And I'll tell you why it counts.
Talk to me.
I've said this before. Being married to a goalkeeper, they don't care if the score is 5-1, 8-1, 20-1. They are going to think about that one goal that ruined their clean sheet. So Kaylin Sharon, she's got to just get the gloves up. She just stops it, and that's fine. It's raining out there. It could have slipped. It could have slipped.
It could have. I could also
It was
slip
never
when I
gonna
get up.
slip.
And it could have easily happened. It could have. Great save.
Great save. That's our All-State save of the match there by Kaylin Sheridan. You heard Nichelle Prince say it. They have that one more game to go on Tuesday, December 5th. We'll have an hour-long pregame show to get you started, 9 p.m. ET, because you know that hour-long pregame show is going to be a lot of love for Christine Sinclair. That will be her final game. That is the game where we do expect her to start, because there is something way more special when you start and you come off the field to an incredible standing ovation by fans. But everywhere she's been going right now, she's being honored. There she is with her two nieces, being honored, rightfully so. She is the all-time caps leader, goals leader, assists leader, not just with Canada, but the all-time goal leader in the world. Stay with us.
CanadaSoccerStore.com is the official home for the widest range of Canada Soccer licensed product, match jerseys, and fanwear.
There's a shot, score! It is over. Brilliant! What a strike! Again, I say, who else?
From the edge of your seat or up on your feet, let them hear you cheer.
Allstate and its 900 agents proudly support Canadian soccer at every level. Visit allstate.ca.
Here are your full-time stats. The Canadians, 19 shots in total. Ooh. They were keeping the Aussies busy. 8 on target, 5 found the back of the net. Rainy night in Langford, BC, inside Starlight Stadium. Let's bring in the two people who are taking in the action. Now you have umbrellas. That pregame show, you were just dripping wet all over Platt. Claire Rustad, take it away with what you saw tonight.
Umbrellas are up. It is still raining. It stopped for about 5 minutes there at the end of the game, and I thought we were going to get lucky, but no. Claire, 5-0. We know that that wasn't a full-strength Australian team from the start of the game, but still a ton of positives for Canada to take from that match.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're right. Definitely not the team that we saw from Australia at the World Cup. Only a few starters. You can see the level shift a little bit for them when some of their starters from the World Cup entered the game later on. But what I liked from the Canadians was how they never took the foot off the gas. They really pinned them in their own end in that first half, continued to apply pressure, and they did the simple things well. It's not easy to do in a bit of a monsoon of a downpour here for the majority of the game. Playing on turf where the ball can really easily skip, but I thought the quality, the touch, quality of the passing was excellent, and the quality of the pressure was excellent as well. It resulted in several goals.
Nichelle Prince really led that press from the front. I believe I'm right in saying that in Bev Priestman's very first game in charge, she was playing that number 9 position. We've seen her play obviously mostly the wing for Canada, but she really seems to be making the centre forward spot her own and adds 2 goals tonight as well.
Yeah, I actually really like her there. I think certainly she was not full strength, and then Carr mentioned it earlier at the World Cup, nowhere near full strength. And they missed her speed on the flanks, but I think what they missed more is her ability to be disruptive defensively. We saw that tonight in her first goal, just continuing to apply that pressure, very disruptive defensively, and she has a great ability in that number 9 position to play in tight spaces. Really combined well with the midfielders. Much more creative team from the Canadians tonight.
A player who continues to impress me even more every time I watch her play is Jade Rose. This is a player who's still in college, still young, making her way or ready to make her way in the professional game. And I have to say, I think she'll have a pick of professional clubs when she makes that step. What did you make of her performance tonight and what she's brought to that back line?
Yeah, I thought she was fantastic. I mean, the Canadians suffered from a lot of injuries leading up to the World Cup, and certainly Janine Becky was a big injury, really decreased their versatility defensively and offensively, but not a lot was made, and more should have been made of the injury to Jade Rose, because it really hampered them in terms of their versatility in that back line. If they're going to play with a back three effectively, they have to have three reliable and consistent central defenders. I think they found that in Jade Rose. Again, the quality of the touches on a rainy night was excellent. Consistently looking forward, and her distribution was great.
Let's end where we started with Christine Sinclair. We were talking a little bit before the game about some of your memories being called up and having your first call up at around the same time she did back in 2000 as teenagers. How were the memories and the emotions tonight as you watched her come on and get that standing ovation?
Yeah, the first cap I actually had was in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and she and I both came on at the half. I think that was actually her second camp with Evan Pellerud, and already at that point I was looking to her for leadership. Like, she has this quiet determination and focus. It's very grounding as a player. I was a very anxious teenager when I started. We were both 17 at the time, and yeah, just a very grounding presence to have on the field. You really can't help but feed off of that leadership. She'd only been in the program for one camp by that point. You could already feel it.
She was already thinking about, she told me this week, Mia Hamm's goal-scoring record after getting off to a goal-scoring start in her own international career. So phenomenal stuff, and obviously we'll have the big send-off on Tuesday in Vancouver. But back to you for now, Andy.
Great stuff. Thank you so much. Claire Rustad, Oliver Platt. We'll see Ollie again a little bit later in the show here, because, you know, we're going to look ahead to that Tuesday match. That's going to be a big one. It's the final game for Christine Sinclair as we continue to share stories about the legend. 5-0 is the final here tonight for Canada over the Australians. It's the same opponent on Tuesday, December 5th. We'll continue to break this one down on One Soccer.
One day, we won't have to work 2 jobs.
One day, we won't have to be players on the field and activists off of it.
One day, I'll see them and know I can be them.
One day, more sponsors will compete to join our roster.
One day, we won't have to leave Canada to play professionally.
But all of these one days are on the line. The future
of women's soccer
is on the line.
If you don't support us today.
Degree, 72-hour non-stop protection. Antiperspirant with motion sense. Tested to the limit. Degree, keeps working when others stop.
There's got a wide open goal. She's going to try and chip, and it's in off the post. Christine Sinclair ties the match.
Sentinel Storage, proudly supporting Canada Soccer's women's national team. Thank you, Christine.
How do you go from the best to the ultimate without breaking the bank? You choose the big, bold, ultimate taste of ultimate chicken sausages and hot dogs. Choose ultimate taste and value, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
Here's a look at the updated last 4 meetings between Canada and Australia. That includes tonight's 5-0 victory, 2-1, 1-0. Those were in September of last year. But yes, That's the one at the World Cup that we also remember 4-0, officially eliminating the Canadians from the World Cup. So the Aussies, which in February are in a very good position to qualify for the Olympics, we'll see if they face them again in another competition where it will really matter. We know that Bev Priestman is really trying to lock in her team here to be able to go to Paris and defend that gold medal. Simi Wujo gets a goal. You wanted to see her in this. You love that she got that goal. But first I want to see, does Bev have the answer now when it comes to an attacking formation, and does she still need to figure it out when she needs to be a little bit more defensive?
Yeah, it's a great question, Andy. I think a lot of the attacking success has been through the flanks and the sort of flank partnerships, finding Nichelle. We've talked about that. But when I look at the anchors of the system, which are kind of the two number 6s in a way, you're starting to look at the idea that Jessie Fleming has been that, but she has more attacking quality. She's disciplined enough to play as a defending midfielder, but she's not actually a defending midfielder, right? We can all agree on that. Simi Wujo's in the exact same boat. I think the only player they have is Quinn, and they can, play and stay anchored like a Desiree Scott used to be. They're looking at Emma Reagan, a real defending midfielder, to allow the secondary midfielder to go forward. When you look at the success of Simi Wujo, it was actually in higher positions. Yeah. She was simply disciplined enough to stay, but it would not be her profile to just sort of anchor in all game long if that's what you asked of her.
And Carm, you know this as a manager, and you've been closely around this Canadian team. How important is having that player? Like the garbage woman, the garbage man, the custodian, we'll put a nice one. But just to clean up around them, because you get the Lawrences going forward, the Collins going forward. Wujo tonight cleaned up, but she has so much attacking quality. But that's why I think with this Canadian side, someone like Sophie Schmidt will be missed so much.
Very much. Because
she's someone to break up play, someone that's okay with doing the dirty work and allowing other people to shine and go forward. And that is coveted. If you're Bev Priestman, you want someone that is okay doing that. And I think with Canada, some of the struggles that they have is not really having that player in big moments. Because the same way Canada have players to go forward, other top teams in the world do too. You need a player that says, look, I'm ready to challenge you, I'm ready to take you. So I'm hoping there's a player that can fill that role soon.
Well, it was great to see Simi Wujo get her first goal for country, but you're right, it does seem like Bev has that attacking lineup figured out, but what happens when you go against a team where maybe you want to have somebody in that midfield who's a little bit more defensive? So still work to be done. We also know there's that game on Tuesdays. We bring in Ollie once again. Ollie, what are you looking forward to, or what are some of the storylines heading into that Tuesday match, which will make its way to BC Place, which will be called Christine Sinclair Place for the night? What are you expecting?
Well, obviously, everything is going to revolve around Christine Sinclair leading the team out for the last time for Canada, which is going to be an incredible moment to witness. But I think it also has to be said that, that was a long way from Australia's strongest team tonight. The bench, the quality of players they were bringing off the bench, was kind of the tried and tested players that made it deep in the World Cup and have made this team, one of the top teams in the world over the past few years. So you would expect to see more of those players on Tuesday at Christine Sinclair Place. And that's going to provide, I think, a very, very different test for Canada going into that game. So fantastic result tonight, and not to take anything away from them by any means. I thought that was an excellent performance from Canada. But I do think the real test is coming on Tuesday.
Obviously, the defense is something that, you want to see tested for the Canadians. You want to see where it is. Do you expect maybe we'll see a different lineup from Australia where the Canadian defense will be tested a little bit more?
I think so, yeah. You look at players like Hayley Razzler coming off the bench, and there's real quality there. Top-class players playing at the highest level in terms of their club football. That being said, I really think this Canadian backline, the way it's constructed right now, is promising. I talked to Claire a little bit about Jade Rose. I think she's just been exceptional. She's got everything in her locker. Intelligence, technical ability, phenomenal athlete, I think, for her age as well. Kadisha Buchanan, I think, getting more comfortable. Obviously, we'll monitor the club minutes with Chelsea with her, but she looked more comfortable on that left-hand side, which I think has been a bit of a change alongside Vanessa Gilles. And maybe an underestimated or underrated recent addition to this Canadian team has been Sydney Collins at left back, who's getting up and down the left-hand side really well, but taking up a more defensive role that I think than Ashley Lawrence does on the opposite sides at left back too. So she's impressed me. Kaylin Sheridan, always solid. Unfortunate that D'Angelo couldn't go tonight, but yeah, I think that unit's got some real promise.
All right, great stuff. Well, Ollie, go dry up, go get warm. You have another game to attend to on Tuesday. We're going to be bringing everyone that game as well. It really is going to be a love fest for Christine Sinclair and rightfully so. Are you ready to share some stories?
Yes, I will dig them up.
Don't get emotional on us.
I'll try. I'm not very good at that.
I know.
Yeah.
But it feels like, we're at that finish line right now. You know, we talked about it, and it's going to happen. And Tuesday's going to be her final game, and now it's becoming real. Now it's hitting home. This is somebody who has represented the national team for 23 years. Many people have grown up with her being on the team. What is it going to look like without? But based on what we saw here tonight, and especially with Nichelle Prince in that number 9, I think she's left it in a good place. A 5-0 win for the Canadians over the Australians in Langford, BC, inside Starlight Stadium. They'll make their way to Christine Sinclair Place on Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in tonight, Canada, and we'll see you in a few days.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see us with a $10 million valuation.
In 5 years, doing this full time.
I see myself with her.
I see myself with her.
I'll be playing for Canada.
We'll be doing this, but in Japan.
In 5 years? Where won't I be in 5 years?
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
To play. It's something that's in us from the very beginning, and something we take with us on every step of the journey. When we have no words, it gives us a way to speak. When we are still finding our way in the world, it gives us somewhere to belong. And no matter who we are or where we come from, it gives us the right to dream.
Christine Sinclair as she scores at her 5th World Cup. Alfonso Davies!
It's time to celebrate the game we love. It's time to play.
There's got a wide open goal. She's going to try and chip, and it's in off the post. Christine Sinclair ties the match. Which is gone. There's got a wide open goal. She's going to try and chip, and it's in off the post. Christine Sinclair ties the match.